Hello, everyone. Welcome back to AC Today Reports. We hope you're doing well this Thursday evening. We're excited, as always. I always say that because you know what I was really thinking about? I'm so happy to be part of a conference where we still believe in evangelism and serving our community and giving back to others. And I think this is what this pandemic has really brought out for me. The privilege of being able to share the stories of what our members are doing during this time. A lot of people are kind of shying away from some of the things that they used to do, but it seems like our members have revved up and taken this challenge that COVID has presented to us to continue to press forward to spread God's word. So we're really excited about tonight's show because you're going to get to hear some of the stories of how our churches and members are doing that. They're continuing to share the love of Christ with others. So you don't want to miss it. Make sure you stay tuned after this break.
Even though there is so much against us,
you will see me choose to protect myself and my community from the coronavirus by wearing a face covering.
Because it's going to take all of us thinking about one another.
And even with my face covered, you will see me.
You will see me as a mother, a wife, a friend.
As an athlete who gave everything to the game I love.
As a father, leading by example.
As a sister.
An entertainer.
As a champion for my people.
You will see me finding a light in a dark time.
To unlock our creativity and push our craft.
You will see me demanding the space to tell the stories that matter.
As a man who knows that tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Join us in wearing a face covering to help stop the spread of the coronavirus.
Because covering your face is one small act of kindness that has the power to bring us together.
As always, we're excited to talk with our guest tonight. And our first guest is one of our pastors who is doing a prophecy seminar. I think we all know how important it is to have those going on during these uncertain times. And so I want to invite my special guest right now. His name is Pastor Mario Torres. How are you doing, Pastor Torres?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Wonderful, wonderful. We're so glad to have you here. And for those who don't know what church you pastor, please tell everyone out there.
Yeah. So, I'm the pastor for the Movement Germantown Seventh-day Adventist Church in Germantown, Maryland.
Excellent. And it's funny, when I first heard about Germantown, I think when you all were doing, it was a competition that the union was having on, you remember what I'm talking about, where they were giving away money, and you guys did a video, and they contacted me. They said, the Germantown Church. I'm like, Germantown Church? Because we have a Germantown in Philadelphia.
Yes.
I didn't even know. I was like, we have the movement in Germantown. And so ever since then, you guys have been like on my radar, and I see all the awesome things that you guys have going on. But how has the church been doing during this pandemic?
It's been hard. I mean, like always, people have been, challenged because of the social distancing, but we keep each other, up to date using, social media, calling each other, especially on Sabbath, our Sabbath, a Sabbath school, Sabbath worship time. We know that our members are there and more. But we've been, keeping ourselves, together through WhatsApp, text, phone calls, just to make sure that people are okay.
That's great. It's always important to check in, and that the church family still knows that even though you're not together, you're still family and you care about each other. That's awesome. Now, I know that you all are very active with your community. I love the drive-by prayer things. By the way, I always love it when you guys do those. But of course, with the pandemic, some of the things that we're typically doing, we're changing them up a little bit. And I know you all typically have a prophecy seminar every year. Is that correct?
Yes, we do one every fall. And that's our fall revival, where we open it up. We tend to do some things with the community leading to that. Okay. But unfortunately, this year we could not do those, what we call the bridge events. But we were able, to at least communicate with them, through Facebook, doing some marketing for them to enjoy and see what's really going on in these last days.
That's right. So because you couldn't do it how you typically do, you went virtual. And I think you shared with me, normally you all did 2 weeks when you were together, but this time, because it's virtual, you can go a little bit longer, 4 weeks, right?
Exactly. Actually, the budget is a little bit better. We don't have to spend so much in in a venue, which is pretty expensive if you want to do a hall in a hotel or something like that, which is thousands of dollars, which we always do. God has blessed us, with people that are of the same belief that Jesus is coming soon. Let's get the word out so we can go ahead and finish the work and go home. So we always have been blessed to get our members engaged, and thank God for our members that believe that that we are at the end of times. But this time we, with a quarter of the budget, we're able to do great marketing campaigns through Facebook and Twitter and Google. Using Sermon View, obviously. Kudos to them; they have been great, to us. And we got about almost 200 people registering, the most we ever have gotten. And every night, we have more people than ever before coming into a hall. So
that's awesome. So when did the seminar series start? Does it know?
Actually, it was we started on September 11th.
Okay.
I thought it was a very poignant date because of just the anniversary of September 11th, but also the continuing calls and continuing texts and even emails to me and other members as to what is going on. I mean, is this really the end? Is this just the beginning of it? And getting people to understand that even though you see the chaos, there is a hope. There is the blessed hope. And that's what we were trying to get people to understand. It's like, I understand that we got to go through tribulation here.
Right.
So what that led us to do the prophecy seminar. I mean, again, we've been practicing online since March.
Exactly.
So that led us to say, you know what, we got to go online. I mean, we call some venues. Will you allow us? And they told us no. You cannot bring anybody. We got to do constant texting and testing, not even testing, but just making sure that people didn't have a fever and everything else. So we had to go through the protocols, which made it wasn't good for us it wasn't proper. So again, we decided to go online completely.
All right, this is awesome. So it started September the 11th. It's going through, when does it end?
October 10th.
October the 10th.
Yes.
Now, I know some of you are like, oh man, I missed the beginning. Well, the good thing about doing things virtually and digitally is that there's archive, correct? There's a place.
Yes, there is an archive. You can go to prophecyawakens.org. There you can see all of our, broadcasts, from night number 1. We have study guides that you can download, study for yourself. Everything that you need in order to make it as much as in person as you can get. We even have a prayer request form. We have any questions form, and we answer those questions. And we actually have a prayer warriors group that are praying for every request that people make on a daily basis. So, I mean, it has been amazing the way that our church, our church members have actually just grabbed it and embraced it and have taken on the call.
It's awesome. Yeah. So you can see that this is nightly, right?
It is actually, we're on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're going to be there. Now we started the doubling up of the Sabbath. There's a reason for that. We don't double up until we cover the subject of the Sabbath. So we started last Sabbath, just doing a double at 11 o'clock during our worship service, so people can get accustomed to worshiping with us on Sabbath, and then also at 7:30 p.m.
Awesome. Okay, so that site is there, prophecyawakens.org. So is this where they can also sign up?
They can actually sign up. The sign up is at Relevance Seminars, which is part of Sermon View, relevanceseminars.org/Germantown. That's where they can register. And then what they'll do is they get on their phone, they get a text, 15 minutes, so they can check in. And also at noon every day, they literally go there. They can register there at the page that you're showing, and they can do the whole thing. Goes through online. It goes, through your phone, You get an email, check in, and it's very seamless.
Okay. Awesome. That's how it should be. You know, getting to the gospel shouldn't be
That's right.
difficult, right?
That's right. That's right. I mean, and again, it started in YouTube. You know, we go through YouTube and Facebook on every Sabbath. Our, like I said, our young people, I cannot say enough. They're the catalyst. They're the ones that are pushing us to actually do better, do more, meet people where they are right now, which is pretty much on their phones. You know, they're a text away, they're a tweet away. So basically, our young people, like I said, I am so proud of them. The job that they have done. If it wasn't for them, they're the one behind the scenes. I don't even know what's happening behind the scenes at all. All I got to do is just show up and preach. And I know that, you know, God's word will never come back void. But if it wasn't for them being behind the scenes and doing what they do, we would not be able to do this.
Well, Pastor Torres, I want to also commend you for creating that space for them to do that. You don't know how many young people want to serve, but don't really feel like they have a place or an avenue to do it. So kudos to you and your leadership for, you know, allowing them to be part of ministry. It's so important. It's so important, especially.
Well, my wife and I and the leadership core, you know, Elder Sellers, we believe that we have to empower our young people. We believe that they're the ones that are going to pick up the torch and carry this forward if Jesus delays his coming. So I rather train them now, get them to fall in love. And what people don't realize, as you're preaching these messages, those producers, those two people that are behind the scenes, they're hearing again these messages, which reinforces their faith.
Absolutely.
Reinforces their belief. You know, some of the young people, believe it or not, and I deal with them on a daily basis, they don't really, especially the ones that have grown up in the church, they really don't know why they're Seventh-day Adventists. For them, it was just hey, you know what? I go to church on Sabbath, and I know Sabbath, but everything else, they really don't know. And this reinforces their faith and reinforces why they are actually Seventh-day Adventists and moving forward and carrying on with this message.
Yeah, that's so important. And even for some, like you said, even for some of us who are older and have been in the church for some time, it's a good refresher to kind of go over this regularly so you can be, you know, reinforced in your belief system and those convictions. So this is awesome. So we talked about how everyone can register. I'll put that up one more time. If you want to join in, it's not too late.
Nope.
For you to be a part of this, so you can.
And we have the good stuff is coming up. I mean, tonight is the millennium. We're going to talk a little bit about hell. You know, to get that tomorrow. You know, again, there's a lot of things. United States in Bible prophecy. Why are things happening in the United States? You know, right now, especially in an election year. Again, the mark of the beast. False church, Revelation 17, Revelation 12. We're going to go all the way to when we preach about the heavens message. So again, there's a lot of good material that are coming up. And again, if you go there, and we built upon another, we make it a very systematic Bible study, if you want to put it that way, in which people can make intelligent decisions. We're having, believe it or not, 10 people that have come from 9-1 guests, from 9-1 all the way until, you know, to up to date. They have come faithfully.
Wow.
And there are people that are making decisions. Actually, I have a baptismal candidate already. So again, all of those things, people are making decisions right now. And again, people are saying, like, well, it's hard, you know, to get in their homes. You're getting into their homes. You know, you're getting wherever they are, you're literally there in front of them. And we make it as interactive as we can and make sure that they can access us at any moment.
That's great. Now, I know, you know, this is great because you're able to reach a lot of people at once. I know you and your wife were conducting Bible studies, you know, individually with several people. And seeing the need and the hunger that people have, you all decided to do something for the church family so they can share in the blessing of teaching us. Share with us very quickly a little bit about what you guys are planning to do with your members.
Yeah, so basically this seminar opened up training opportunities. So we start always with sharing, you know, always making, friends, you know, friendships for the kingdom. All right. So we started the sharing the where their friends could actually go ahead and register and everything else. Then we went to the second training, which was follow-up. Go ahead and reach out for those that haven't come back or they're not coming back as regularly. Go ahead and reach out, exchange with them their study guide for that evening and everything else. Let them know, ask them what's going on. Now we're in that follow-up type of mode where a lot of people register and for some reason something happened. Well, now we're going to reach out to them and say, hey, maybe the seminar was not, what you expected or wanted. You wanted a more one-on-one. Now I'm going to teach our members how to do online Bible studies. My wife and I have been doing those since March. We just had our recent baptism. We baptized 5 people.
I saw that. Yeah.
So again, that has been an amazing, situation in which people are now, I have a young lady that called me. It's like, has been part of the church, went away from the church. She said, I don't want the church anymore. Came back because God gave her an impression that she needed to read the book of Revelation. And at 1:30 in the morning, all the way until 6:30, one whole night, she read all 22 chapters of the book of Revelation. Wow. That Sabbath, she reached out to me and said, I need to start Bible studies. Was a baptized members of the church, and she just got rebaptized about a couple of weeks ago. So God is calling, we never count anybody out. That's God right. is calling people back to the fold. And this seminar has opened that opportunity. And now that we're going to follow up, we got to, equip our members to share this from the comfort of their homes using either Google Meets or Zoom, whatever it is, and they can go ahead and share it. And I believe that this is what has opened up now. Now you have the ability, our website has all of the decision forms that people can make decisions. Everything is pretty much online. You don't have to do anything physically at all.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome. You guys have a system. You make it easier for those who are participating. All they have to have is a desire.
That's it.
You point them in the right direction and they can take it from there. So that's awesome. That's great. I like to see when our churches are not, not just our leaders are doing things, but they're actually training members to be actively engaged in winning others to Christ. That's so important, particularly right now.
I always tell our members that this is not my ministry. This is their ministry. Pastors, we come and go as the need, for the conference, and everything else based on the needs of the conference. So, we always have to continue, no matter who the pastor is, make sure that church continues to stay alive. It's That's their right. ministry. So if I got to equip them, not just for now, but for the future, and I got to give them the tools necessary for them to continue to grow the church, regardless of what is happening.
Awesome. Now we understand why it's called the Movement Church. Germantown, because
you're pretty much right. We wanted a church to move.
Yes, and you're definitely doing things to make that happen. So thank you, Pastor Torres, for sharing about this wonderful seminar series you all have going on, as well as the other efforts you have in place to win others to Christ. We applaud you for keeping evangelism alive during a time like this one. Thank you. We'll be praying for you and the church.
Praise the Lord.
During this series. All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for staying tuned into AEC Today Reports. And we have another special guest with us. I know we have a lot of budding authors out there right now. Those of you who have a book in your head that you have not yet put to pen, we hope you're going to be inspired today by one of our colleagues and authors, Ms. Jean Good. We're going to welcome her here. Hi. How are you doing, Jean Good?
Hi. I'm glad to be here. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's so good to see you. For those who don't know, Jean Good serves as one of our associate publishers for Allegheny East Conference. And if you're definitely in the New Jersey area, I'm sure you've heard of her because she is busy, always sharing the gospel through publishing and other ways. But today we're here to talk about her own book. We're not talking about the other books. There's a new book that she has written. And go ahead and tell us the title of your book.
Yes, I'm very excited. The title of it is See What God Can Do. Inspiration for your journey.
Amen. I mean, even the title alone just speaks volumes, speaks volumes. But
Yes.
before we talk about the book, how are you doing? We like to check in with everyone during this pandemic. How are you coping with all of these changes going on?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. I'm just trying to stay safe, and catch up on some much needed rest. I didn't realize how much rest I really needed until I actually stopped.
Wow.
And so it has been a good thing for me, in terms of being able to catch up on the rest. Because I run a lot, and I put about over 30,000 miles a year on my car.
Woo!
Yeah,
so just to give it a break.
Yeah, I needed to give it a break.
Yeah, see, that's why I said this pandemic has, caused a lot of havoc, but it has created some blessings for so many people in different ways. And for you, it provided you some much needed rest. Yes. And now I know the book, you authored it before the pandemic started, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for those who don't know, have not yet to read the book, tell us what it's about. Who's your target audience? What can we expect when we read it? Give us all the good details.
Okay, so as I stated, the title is See What God Can Do. And over the years, I've been a literature evangelist for about 38 years now. Wow. And over the years, the Lord has done some miraculous things for me in my ministry and also in my personal life. And so the book is a collection of miraculous things that God has done. It is very, very encouraging and very inspirational to let people see that God is real, He's personal, and He will meet you right at the point of your need.
Wow. So that definitely sounds like a book for everyone. I mean, we all need to be reminded of that. And particularly right now, I'm pretty sure when you started penning this book, you didn't realize that it would kind of come out during a time where people really needed to be reminded that God is still in control and that He cares. So that
because that's true, Latasha, because actually the book was supposed to come out early February. But God makes all things beautiful in His time. And it didn't come out until June, and when it came out, it was right on time.
Yeah, right on time. Now I know we don't want to spoil it, but can you give us an example of like one of the short miracles that you share or something? Don't go into any detail. We like to read it for ourselves, but can you give us a teaser?
Yes. Okay. So the Lord is just so awesome. So there's one chapter about the miracle of the locked door. And how the Lord sent an angel to open up a locked door for me.
Wow.
And it was just amazing. It happened in 2018, and I was doing Bible work down in Camden. And I have a friend that I had been ministering to that I met out in the field back in 2015, and it was her birthday. Now she lives in Jersey City. So I just wanted to surprise her and do something nice for her birthday. And so I had purchased her some gifts. And I traveled back from Camden to Piscataway, which is about an hour and a half, early that morning, just to find out that I had left my door key, my house keys down in Camden. And I didn't know what to do. So my neighbor downstairs, she opened up the door for me, and we went upstairs and we tried different things. A credit card, a knife, nothing worked. And she even put her key in the door. Now her key fit my lock, but it wouldn't turn. And so she went back downstairs to see what else she could come up with. And I'm standing there fiddling with the lock. And all of a sudden I said, Lord, I need you to send an angel to open up this door. And as all heaven is my witness, I had my hand on the key. And as soon as I finished praying, the lock turned without the key moving. Woo! And my door opened up. Yeah.
I'm sure you just stood there for like a minute.
Oh my goodness. It shook me. Yeah, it really shook me. And I said, the same God that sent the angel to close the lion's mouth for Daniel, sent an angel to open up a door for Jean Good. So I was able to go and surprise her for her birthday. Yeah, God is good.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, how many of us have done that though? Like been locked out or in a frustrating situation we're trying to do everything in our own power to make it happen, and a simple prayer in that moment, and
Absolutely.
God intervened. So, okay, so this is the type of stories we're going to hear in this book.
Yes.
I can't wait to get I know my copy's in the office. Like I told you, I'm going to go get mine tomorrow because I'm excited. I love hearing. That's one of the topics I love hearing the most about, second to heaven. I like hearing subjects about heaven, but being reminded of the miracles, the real miracles that people have experienced. Not something you heard, you went through it yourself. I think it reminds me that he can do the same thing for me. You know, how encouraging is that to know, okay, he can do this for Jean Good, he can do this for Tasha Hewitt. And it's encouraging. So I know everybody who's hearing is like, okay, how do we get this book? How do they get the book? I'm gonna put your flyer up, but go ahead and tell us where we can find.
Yes, so the book is available on Amazon, and it is also available at Barnes and Nobles, or you could get it directly from me. My email is on the flyer, so and hopefully soon it will be in your local ABC store. So, but right now it is available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, or directly from me.
Okay, awesome. Now, how long did it take you to write this? I mean, because you're it's accumulation of stories from over the years, and you said you've been doing this for 38 years. So how long did it take you to even put all this together?
It took me about 2 years to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I started in maybe about September, October of 2017. And I finished it around December of 2019. So it took me about 2 years. It wasn't something that I, just did constantly because, I had to work and had to do other things. But and then sometimes I had like a little writer's block,
Of course, process.
But yeah, it took me about 2 years to do it.
Okay. Well, we're glad that you committed to doing it. Because we're going to be the beneficiaries of reading what God has done for you and in consequence what he can do for us. So thank you for being obedient to the Holy Spirit, to committing to writing it and getting it published. So everyone out there, please check it out, Amazon, or you can contact her directly. Let me put the flyer back up so everyone can get address, email address, so that you can get your copy as soon as possible or share it with a friend. So that's Lady Good 5, LADY Good GOOD 5 @gmail.com.
And Latasha, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about the book already.
Oh, yes, please share.
Yes, many people have read the book already, and they have texted me, they have called me. There are some reviews on Amazon about how much of a blessing that the book has been to them. And that was my purpose and inspiration for writing the book, because I know that there are so many people who go through so many things and they don't realize or understand that God is a personal God.
Yeah.
And like I said, that he will meet you right at the point of your need. And so in the book, I've been very transparent about some experiences in my life. Because, we're living in a time where people don't necessarily want to be transparent about what they're going through.
True.
But, so as I was out in the field, I would meet people who were going through some horrible things. And the Lord said to me, but you've been through that. You need to share with them how I've brought you through, And so, I just want people to take away from this book that God is faithful. His promises are sure. He will do exactly what he said he will do. And every promise that he has made to you, he will keep it. So that was my inspiration for writing the book, to show God's faithfulness.
Amen. Amen. See what God can do. Inspirations for your journey. Please check out this book. Thank you again so much for writing it. I can't wait to read it. I'm excited. I've been looking for a good book to read. And, I have to be in the right mind space to read certain books at certain times. And I'm ready for this one right now. Like, this is what I need in my life right now. So I'm going to read mine right away. But thank you for coming to share with us. We hope everyone watching will pick up their copy. This is the kind of thing that's good to share with people. The holidays are coming up very soon. This could be one of the things that you share with others as a gift. So please support this ministry. Thanks again for sharing with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay. And please stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
Myth. If you get COVID-19, you'll recover after a few days. That myth is false. We're only just beginning to understand the effects of COVID-19 on the human body, as we're starting to see more and more people identifying as long haulers who are having symptoms for weeks, if not months after their initial infection. Continue to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands. Together, we can keep COVID out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
All right, everyone, welcome back to AEC Today Reports. Thank you for staying locked in to tonight's episode. So we're really excited. We talked to one of our pastors who's doing an evangelistic series. We've learned about a new book, and now we're here to talk about something else exciting that's happened at one of our churches, and this time it's in Germantown in Philadelphia. And I want to invite one of the ministry leaders there to join us to talk about this. Hi, Armina. How are you?
Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
Great. Like I said, this is Armina Domingue, and she is a member of the Germantown Church in Philadelphia. Now, I know you have several hats in terms of ministry.
Yes.
What are your official positions at Germantown?
I have one.
Oh, it's just one? You wouldn't know it.
I know, but it's just one official. It is the family life leader. And so I have a crew that works along with me. And so that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, so she's the family life leader, but she's a little bit of everything for every department. Let's just say that. We know how that goes in our churches. But anyway,
yes.
So we were really excited. Well, first of all, how are you doing? We like to do our check-ins. How are you doing?
Man, I'm telling you, I'm trying. I think I'm doing better now that I'm getting into some kind of a routine and just trying to really adapt to just what's happening in our world right now. So yes, I can tell you for today, I am okay.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for being honest. And for those who've been following our series, even with our relationship ministries department, we know that you have been in our youth department. You've played a role in helping others deal with certain issues that they are dealing with even during this pandemic. So we appreciate, you taking time once again to share with our AEC constituents here. But we're talking specifically today about something that coordinates the church, which was a community giveaway. So tell us a little bit about what the giveaway was, what we gave away. And I say we because Germantown is my home church. What we gave away, and then we'll talk about, how the day went.
For sure. But before we do that, I do want to check in with you too. And I just want to ask you the same question back. Like, how are you? How are you doing? How have you been coping under the circumstances?
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll take my moment on the couch.
Okay.
I'm doing well. I think AEC Today reports and things like this energize me. So when I'm able to do things like this, I get my energy back. Okay. So I'm doing well because I'm able to do things like this and talk to people like you. But overall, doing very well. Thanks for asking.
For sure. There's always room on my couch for you. You know that.
All right.
All right. So let's talk about this community giveaway. It was such an amazing project to even put together. So we, the Family Life Leader, have been partners with an organization called Cradle to Crayon for about 12 years. I started the partnership many years ago when we just saw that there was a need in our community to give and support more than the church could really handle. And so I reached out to Cradle to Crayon, and they are an organization where thousands and thousands of people donate all kinds of things, and businesses donate all kinds of things. So their standard once a year is a book bag drive where it comes with book bags and supplies for however many people you need for in your community. And then there's a diaper and wipes drive that happens about twice a year. And so we have been really blessed to be a blessing to the Germantown community as we have passed out book bags, we have passed out diapers, we've had families within the Germantown community, not the church per se, but just surrounding area, come to the church and say, look, you know, I don't have food for my baby. I don't have diapers, or my kids don't have X, Y, and Z. And I have been able to mobilize a team to either reach out to Cradles to Crayons, or I've reached out to them and said, hey, this is the situation. What can you do? And they have been just so generous over the years to supply us with what we need. And if they didn't have it at that moment, they would reach out to their partners to say, hey, is there anyone who can provide a crib for a newborn or a car seat? Mom can't leave the hospital without a car seat. And so those are some of the things that we as a church have been able to do. I mean, it's been low key because to us, we see ministry as just low key ministry, you know, like it's not something you do and then you blast it or you just kind of talk about it. But the community has not kept it low key. And so we have gotten a lot more requests, especially during COVID, really relating to just any kind of help. And so when you say to me, any kind of help, I'm like, okay, so here's what the list is, and I need you to tell me what you need, and we can get what it is you need. So that's ultimately how the partnership started. And this time, because of COVID and because our church is closed, I'm going to just say it was a blessing in disguise for us with this, because we then partnered with a local school, which is something that we have not done before. We have given the items directly to members in the community through our church. But partnering up with this local school, we started this last year. I was the educational leader last year. And so, you know, we gave out tons of school supplies and left school supplies to carry them out throughout the school year. And so it was nothing really this time to reach out to the principal and say, hey, Mr. Hayes, you know, we want to do this project. Are you down? And he was like, absolutely. So then we started talking about logistics, like what would that look like? Because, you know, buildings are closed. And so they have a unique parking lot area. And so we were able to transform the parking lot really into a makeshift distribution center. And so we had cars driving in and driving out. We had people walking in and walking out. And what we gave away was, like, I do this all the time and I don't get emotional, but this time, for whatever reason, call it COVID, I don't know, but I was just really more emotional just to see the people who were coming. And it was people who needed it. It wasn't people who just was like, oh, freebies, let me go grab stuff. They were legit in need of the supplies that we were handing out.
Yes. I mean, you're absolutely right. I myself, you know, having the opportunity to be there, I saw the look of gratefulness on all the faces when they pulled up. And, you know, because it was contactless, pretty much, you know, you're just putting the things in their car, their trunk, but the eye contact you got with each person that came by, just, and some verbally, obviously, said, thank you, appreciate you, God bless you. I mean, it was just so moving to be a part of that. And for me, it was particularly important because this was my first time with the girls being able to do something in the community during COVID, because, you know, we're trying to keep them pretty safe and sheltered in place. But because this was outside and well organized, and for them it was a great experience because they got to see the joy of giving back, and you all engaged them right away. They were so happy to make those little signs and stand out there. And it's a great opportunity. It really was.
Yeah. And they did great. I mean, you know, I have claimed your girls from day one. So I felt like anything Auntie Mina asked them to do, they're going to do it. And, you know, we knew we were going to need signs. And the team, I got to say, was amazing in just kind of really playing the tape to the end and trying to figure out all the things that we would need, all the things that might come up. And the school too, they're part of that team. We joined in, we had teachers that were there volunteering. So the girls, they had a key role. It wasn't just creating the signs, because they were the mouthpiece of what we were doing for cars passing by. And they took their job so seriously. I mean, they were on it. Not that I expected any less anyway, but so yeah, so they did work well with the team. And it was, like you said, cars came by and a lot of people didn't know what we were doing. They just saw the sign, they saw people, and so they wanted to know what were we giving away. And the community that we were in is a very impoverished area. And so you know, they see people, they see bags or packages, and they're just like, oh, what can I benefit from over there? We also gave out some toys. We gave out some toiletries. And so there were things that anyone who walked in, no one left empty-handed. Let me just say it that way.
That was great. So I know how many book bags in all were we able to give out? And what was in the book bag?
All right. So we gave out, so we actually got 250 book bags. As I mentioned to you before, we had done partnerships with the Germantown community itself. So there's a block captain that we work very closely with, and we have sponsored some children throughout the years for just numerous things. And so we took out 100 book bags and gave it to her for just kids within the immediate area of the church. I'm talking about a 2 to 3 blocks distance. And so in the school bags were pencils, pencil cases, rulers, notebooks, folders, eraser, pencil sharpener, and yeah, I think that was about it. That was in the bag. Oh, I'm sorry. One of our church members made masks, so we put masks in each book bag. They were children's masks, so we put masks in each book bag, and we had hand sanitizers. We put hand sanitizer. The bags were heavy. Like there were things in there, and initially people were like, why are we giving away book bags? Like the kids are doing virtual schooling. And I'm like, yes, but these are families who, when stuff open up and they're able to go back to school, they're not going to have the means to run to a Walmart or run to a Family Dollar or a Target to go purchase what they need. So they need to sort of stack up for that time. And it's not that it's just an empty book bag. There are things in there that they need to use now, even in the virtual world. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
That was great. And I one of the things about the book bags is I noticed that a lot of the families that came through had multiple children. So it wasn't like you're just giving out one book bag. You know, some of them had 3 or 4 kids. And so that's why this was particularly, I think we even had one car that had one person had 7 children.
Yeah.
And so this was particularly important to them because when you have multiple children that you're trying to provide for, like it's hard to share a notebook. I mean, it's one thing to share clothes, but it's hard to share a notebook, pencils, and supplies like that. So you saw firsthand. And then the diapers. We had lots of diapers, and we can see them in the background. Lots of diapers and wipes. How many diapers were we able to distribute?
So we distributed over 600 diapers, all sizes from newborn all the way to size 6. And also each bag had about a sleeve or 2, depending on the size of the diapers, and a wipe, a packet of wipes. So each bag got a packet of wipes. The behind the scenes, we were moving stuff from storage. Well, first from cradles to crayons to storage, then from storage to the school for weeks leading up to the event because it was just so many things. So we gave out the diapers. But back to the school bag really quickly, we ran out of bags. So we gave out about 150, and then there were some extras that people had dropped off that heard we were having this event, and they didn't have a need for it, so they gave it to us. So we gave out close to 200 bags and still didn't have enough for everyone.
That's right.
The event went until 4 o'clock. We had to shut it down by 3:45 because we had absolutely nothing left to give.
Yeah. So, it shows one, that there's a need.
Yeah.
And when you put yourself out there, the community will come. And it was great to be able to let them know that this church isn't really here, or the people of Germantown are not really here just to get you to come to our church. This is our opportunity when our churches are closed to show you that we really do want to serve and meet your needs.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah. And under the leadership of Pastor Orville Brissett, like he was the forefront in this. He was like, look, Armina, I don't care how you do it. We need to get it done because this is what is needed. And I was like, bet, I'm on it. So there were multiple conference calls with him and the principal and myself, and just trying to make sure, like, this is actually something that's meaningful. Like, no one wants to do a project, and especially during a pandemic, that you don't think the community is going to benefit from. And so once we had that initial conversation and the principal was like, many of our students can use this. And then we started thinking students means families. And so what would the families need? And it just kind of snowballed from there in a good way that we were able to do this.
Absolutely. Now, of course, somebody's watching who attends a church and says, I'd love to be able to do something like this. You've already mentioned Cradles to Crayons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what are some other tips you can give to someone who wants to put together some type of community distribution or community drive?
Yeah. So, there's always a need for something, but, be intentional about what it is that you're giving or what it is that you're doing. And, I always say no man is an island all by yourself. So you need to pull together some people that can actually get the job done. And then you need to figure out what is the need of the community. Is it food? So do you contact the food banks and say, hey, such and such would like to have a food drive, and most of the time it's just about going to pick up the food and then being able to distribute it. And so once you have the need and you have the means to provide the need, then you have to get the word out. And social media is a really good tool because that share button or that like button, people tend to use it often. And so getting the word out about what you're giving. If you're coming through a church, like if you're a ministry leader, make sure you include the leadership team in what you're doing, because if you don't have the support, then I can almost guarantee you your event or your thing is going to kind of not be the greatest that it could be, especially now because our churches are really not open. So, you can't be like, hey, come to the church parking lot and we're going to hand out food. You got to make sure like that you can actually do that first.
Right.
So, Cradles to Crayons, they're just for children and families, but on the children's side. So they provide a slew of things. And Tasha, I don't know if you can maybe forward the link or post the link, and I'll send that over to you just so that people can contact them. They're in each state, and you want to contact them and find out like how can you become a partner with them. And all it took for us was really that we had a tax ID number. And we were able to provide that. And from there, we've been on this amazing journey throughout. And so you can't just go to them and get donations. You actually have to be a partner in order to get donations. And the partners don't pay anything to be a part of it. All they ask is that we give a thank you note or a thank you card for the items that they have given us.
Awesome. Right. Okay. So I'm sharing the screen there, cradlestocrayons.org. So check that out and see how you can partner with them as well.
Yeah. And the other thing,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. People can also donate to them as well. So if you have some old children clothes around or children furniture around, anything that you're not using, but in, gently used, obviously, and in good condition, reach out to your local Cradles to Crayons and find out about their distribution and how can you maybe drop some things or donate some things off.
That's awesome. And that's what I was going to say. One thing I'm noticing as a common thread with our churches who are doing this type of thing, whether it's a food pantry or something like this, is this partnering with existing organizations who are already doing this kind of thing. And your church is just a conduit to, reach your particular community. So, don't feel like you have to, get the church members to buy diapers and get the church members to buy. You can partner with organizations that can make this easier for everyone. So that's great. And thank you for organizing such a wonderful giveaway.
Sure.
Any more planned for in the next few weeks, months, any more distributions or?
Not right in the near future, but we're working on some things for next year.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for this event, and hopefully
thanks for having me.
This is awesome.
All right.
Thanks for chatting with us. We'll let you get back to helping other people, which you do so well.
Thanks, AEC.
All right, everyone, please stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Okay, everyone, that wraps up tonight's show. We're so happy that you tuned in this evening. We're so grateful to our guests for sharing what they're doing, inspiring us. We hope you will get that book, See What God Can Do by Gene Good. We hope you'll check out the prophecy series that's going on by the Movement Church in Germantown. And we hope that you and your church will be inspired to give back to the community, such as churches like Germantown in Philadelphia. So please, after this, check out some of the activities we have coming up with Allegheny East and some of our supporters after this show. Thanks for tuning in every Thursday at 7 p.m. After all, the more you watch, the more you know. We'll see you next week.